FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Is government more likely to be a friend or adversary of minority groups? Now, this is a tough question, and I'm going to start off with something that Michelle Obama said recently. She said that for the first time in her adult life, she feels proud to be an American. Now, I think that there's this kind of conflict going on with a lot of blacks, especially a lot of Democrats, but I think a lot of blacks overall, where they have these kind of conflicting feelings about being proud to be an American. Now, in the mid-'90s, there was a lot of talk about the different reactions that blacks had to the O.J. Simpson verdict, that compared to a lot of whites, that a lot of blacks watch different TV shows and a lot of whites will watch. When people talk about America, history, for example, the 1950s, that it was a sleepy time in America, there are a lot of good things that happened, a lot of blacks will refer to the Brown versus Board of Education and the resistance to it. They'll talk about Little Rock and the reaction to that. They'll talk about, for example, like Birmingham, that it was called Bombingham by a lot of blacks. So there's this thing where there's, we can be proud to be Americans, and yet there's always this kind of feeling of but. And W.E. Du Bois wrote about this a century ago, where he talked about the two-ness that a lot of black Americans feel, where they're both Americans but also Negro, and they have these different feelings within them. But a lot of whites, I think especially a lot of conservatives, wondered, Michelle Obama, Princeton, Harvard, millionaire, you could be the next first lady, and you're talking about mixed feelings. Where's the conflict? And I think that's why there's a kind of that question is a little difficult, because is the government a friend or an adversary? As I said, I think there's this kind of feeling that it's been both. Now, for me, I'll be clear. I look at the government as an adversary. You can pull a gun on me and tell me what to do. It's hard for me to consider you to be a friend. It's kind of a strange relationship. I just want to go have a drink, and, you're telling me what I need to do. Because with friends, I just give notification of what I'm going to do. I don't have to get permission from them about things. Now, I'll tell you that even though the government has done these good things recently, I don't feel thankful for them, because it's something that the government was supposed to do, kind of like Chris Rock thing, is supposed to have done that to begin with. The idea that I'm thankful that the government took its boot off the necks of blacks, and I'm supposed to say, thank you for that, friend. Now, let me give an example of this. Loving versus Virginia. This was the 1967 case that overruled the laws against interracial marriage. And I'm thinking, were people supposed to have felt thankful that the government finally said, we're going to stop intervening into the lives of consenting adults and let them marry the people that they want to marry? It's something like Malcolm X said, you stick a knife in a man's back 9 inches, take it out 6, and say that's progress. Well, it's not progress when you just give me back a little of my rights, but not all of them. So the idea of, am I supposed to be thankful? When I hear about a Supreme Court case where people actually get their rights back, instead of me thinking like I'm thankful, I'm saying like, well, damn, finally. The court has realized that people have the right of locomotion. People have the right to determine things on their own.